Hello, folks. That's right. It's time for another peek into the past. Revisit the moment. Do you remember where you were 4,000 years ago? So I've been, basically identified all the Afro-Eurasian gatekeepers on the Book of Two Ways, B5C. I think it's called, the version that has the version that has the Afro-Eurasian gatekeepers on it. So like the other illustrated, there's like two main illustrated books of Two Ways. This is like the main one, and this shows like illustrations for all the gatekeepers of America. So, it shows Baffin Island here in the north, next to Greenland. Shows Newfoundland is the biggest one here, which makes sense since I think it's the biggest island in the hemisphere besides Greenland, I'm guessing, or other than maybe Tierra del Fuego. And so anyway, it just shows all these things. Like this is Baja California, shown as this horned creature. This is the Alaskan Peninsula, shown as like a little dude. Cuba, Hispaniola. So all these are mostly gatekeepers that guard the coast. So if you're sailing along the coast, these are the things that would obstruct your passage. So, this is like the Delmira Peninsula, like Delaware and stuff, the Chesapeake Bay. So that like lays out basically the concepts I figured out in this version. But there are, there's a later version. I'm not sure how much later, but it shares some in common with this version, with B1C of General Seppi. They're all about 4,000 years old. I think these ones are a little less, but less old. But so I'm not sure where there's like a full picture of the later one, but anyway, wherever it is, I'll just get to the point is that I'm just identifying all the details of it. So, yeah, here's like a section of it at least. So this is the newer version. This is an older version. And this is the later version that has illustrations not only for the American gatekeepers down here, but also for the Afro-Eurasian gatekeepers up here. So I've just been going through and like identifying them all, and it's fun, but I just wanted to update so yeah, here's like one of the things I made, just showing which gatekeepers these all are. I think this is all accurate except for this one. I think I misidentified, and it's actually this Leizhou Peninsula and Hainan Island. So anyway, but like at the other end of it, it's the Mediterranean, it seems to be. And So Greece is especially detailed. You know, Greece is right here. Let's see. And I'll just show again. This is the Pillars of Hercules, Gibraltar, and Elmina that guard the mouth of the Mediterranean. And this is Greece right here. So Greece has like, you know, this is the Peloponnese Peninsula. This is the Corinthian Isthmus, Corinth. And this is this is basically Istanbul. And this is the southwestern western Black Sea coast, something like that. So, but just to get like more specific into it, let's see, how do I go up? See, I should just open an image of it and then well, like here. So this is you know, Greece. This is the Peloponnese Island. This is the Corinth Peninsula. And this is let's see, I think this peninsula that goes here is called I believe the Çatalca Peninsula in Turkish, and it's basically part of Turkey now. It was Thrace in antiquity, and so yeah, you can see it pretty well, you know, the general shape. I'm not sure why they made the shape of the Peloponnese this way. I mean, that's the kind of arguably least accurate part of it. But then again, the Peloponnese may have been shaped differently at that time because sea level was lower, so there was more land. Let's see. New from the clipboard. All right, so we'll just like set that right there. And then go to town here. So of these different dots that are along the coast, you know, there's these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then seemingly 6. So what are all those? So this one is called, I believe it's called Kaukidiki. So that should be in here somewhere. Where are you, old Kaukidiki? Here it is, Kaukidiki. So it's spelled sometimes Halkidiki, so maybe it's more like Halkidiki or something. Let's see. But it's, you know, it has the pronunciation with a K here. So basically, Kaukidiki. It's pretty cool. It has like these 3 fingers. Apparently this easternmost finger is like run by the Eastern Orthodox like monks or something, and you can't go there unless you're a male and like an Eastern Orthodox man, or it's at least, you know, very hard to get in if you're not Eastern Orthodox, and I think if you're a woman you can't get in. And Kaukidiki is known for jutting peninsulas. Has Cassandra, Sithonia, and Athos. So it doesn't show those in the, in the Egyptian one. It just shows it just shows that it's like the biggest kind of promontory peninsula type thing in this area, like jutting out from the mainland. You know, as it says, jutting peninsulas. So yeah, this is the Chatalja. It's ironic because this is spelled with a C, but it's pronounced Chatalja Peninsula, and then the other one is spelled with a CH, but it's pronounced Kaukidiki. So that's the difference, I guess, between the modern writing systems of the Turks and the Greeks. So Kaukidiki and Chatalja. So and see, this is, I went to kind of a Guardian peninsula just now in Cape Ann, Massachusetts, or basically Cape Ann, Massachusetts is like one of these achs, but I think it's too small to be mentioned in the ancient maps or that I've seen so far. I was just noticing how big like Long Island was, and I think if Seppi's map was oriented for somebody sailing south, then it probably would have included Long Island as one of the guardians or gatekeepers. But since it seems to be oriented for somebody sailing north, it has Palmyra or Delmira instead. And then this is the gatekeeper of the western gatekeeper of the U.S., or basically the area that is now the U.S. It's so Vancouver Island, and this is the Olympic Peninsula, and this is just a huge sea. Like, I hadn't realized like the Salish Sea is like the biggest inland, coastal kind of bay or inlet in the U.S., I think. I think it might even be bigger than the Chesapeake. I'm not sure. Anyway, like Chesapeake Bay. So where are we? Erdogan wants to turn Istanbul into an island. So it might be that the reason there's one on the end of Istanbul is because Istanbul, the tip of the Çatalca Peninsula, does kind of poke out and is almost already partly an island because it has these big, huge inlets on the side. Not exactly sure. All right, so Lefkada is go away. Lefkada is one of these. I believe it's okay. So Lefkada is an island right here. So that probably either corresponds to this one or and Zakynthos corresponds to this one here. So it's shown right there, Zakynthos. So these are like islands along the coast that obstruct coastal sailing. This northernmost one here is Corfu. And yeah, it's see, I'm not sure why don't have the picture of Corfu's locality. And then Kefalonia is in the Ionian Islands. So that's this one here. So that means this one here is either Kefalonia or it's that other one, the one right here, or it's somehow a mix of the two, because this one's so close to the coast, it's basically attached to the coast, whereas this one's a bit further out, so that could either be an argument for it not being included because it would be seen as just too far out and just an island in the sea, or it could be an argument that this one is so close that it's not included somehow and that this is the one. So I'm not really sure. I kind of lean towards this being the one, like this and this, but I mean this one itself is far enough from the coast that seems like this one could be a good prospect for that as well. Kefalonia. So yeah, I'm going to try to memorize these better, but why this keeps coming. Oh yeah, and then this is Gallipoli. So Gallipoli is, famous for World War II or World War I or something like that. But it's like this peninsula right here. So that's this run here. So this is Kaukidiki, and then this is Gallipoli, and then this is Istanbul. So Cape Helles, I think, is on Gallipoli. It's like the cape of it, basically. I mean, in a sense, all these gatekeepers are capes or have capes on them. Something you have to sail around. So, again, so Istanbul, and then this whole peninsula is Çatalca, and this side of it is the Black Sea, and then this side of it is the Sea of Marmara. So it's just this little sea inside Turkey. The Aegean Sea, Dardanelles Strait. So, and then all these gatekeepers just guard different straits or create different straits by their presence. And so yeah, Gallipoli, Istanbul, Black Sea, Sea of Sea of Marmara, and Gallipoli. Or wait, what am I just want to try to memorize all this stuff. It's like basically the names of all these, like, okay, so Black Sea coast, Istanbul, Sea of Marmara, the Çatalca Peninsula, and then its offshoot peninsula, the Gallipoli, and then the Kaukidiki, the huge peninsula that has 3 fingers, and then Corinth Isthmus, and then what is it? Corfu. I guess there is like a little map there of Corfu, so it shows that it's this little, or this one that's kind of long on the side. So that's like right here. So yeah, it's right there. Corfu, and Zakynthos here, and and then this one is Lefkada here, and or California. Hey, it's California. It's where I live. All right. So yeah, I don't know. It's probably pronounced like Kefalonia. I'm like, all right, Kefalonia. So it's either that or that. It's either Kefalonia or Lefkada, or both. And then this is like Ithaca next to Kefalonia. All right, so that's just some updates, just fleshing out the details here. I'm going to see if there's just anything else interesting I got in my pictures. Kefalonia. Okay, getting into other stuff. Controversial, even potentially more controversial stuff than this. See, maybe I'll just show these. Oh yeah, this is like the Bryn Mawr like bed and breakfast my family like rented in Cape Ann. It's pretty awesome, pretty like rustic, built in the 1800s. All right, so this is just some little comparisons I did in a quick way on my phone like this with screenshots. So yeah, this is China's Leizhou Peninsula and Hainan Islands, and this seems to be Leizhou, and this seems to be Hainan. Although it seems on this like Hainan is backwards, like the pointy part should be this side, and so I'm not sure why that is, if that's on purpose or not. This seems to be Britain, and I think that his wand is Ireland, and then all these little like maybe these islands are the Shetlands, these ones are the Orkneys, and these ones are the Hebrides, something like that, because there's all these little islands like around here and up here and whatever. So, and he's called the gray-haired one, probably because of the White Cliffs of Dover. He's the first gatekeeper in this book of two ways, it seems. Then this is Greece again. You know, I have Greece highlighted and Untitled Peninsula highlighted. And this is Sicily, and it's attached to the toe of the Italian boot that has like one bump, an inlet, and then another bump. So it's here, bump, inlet, bump, and then goes that way more, and then attaches to Sicily. Of course, Sicily is not really shaped very super accurately here. A lot of this is not really done for accuracy per se. It's just more about location. And these islands seem to be Majorca, Corsica, Sardinia, Crete, and Cyprus, the big islands of the Mediterranean. There's another version. Istanbul, Çatalca, Gallipoli, Kaukidiki, Corinth, Peloponnese, Corfu, is it called? And then Zakynthos and Lefkala, or the other one. All right, I'm getting there. I only like Googled this stuff like yesterday, so I have yet to like memorize it. And then this seems to be, Sri Lanka and a couple of the little islands between Sri Lanka and India. And then this gate hall is India, probably. And I mean, the shape is a little weird on this, but it might reflect an earlier shape when the sea level was lower, because it may be that these like little peninsulas were kind of attached, and so the kind of head did have a bit of a neck originally, which is now submerged. Main. And there's my flight. All right, so I guess that's it. I'll just look at, see if I see anything else super interesting. Just got this was an event I was working at. We had Foster Gamble, the creator of the Thrive movies. I gave him my book there, and he gave a talk there. And Keith McHenry, the founder of Food Not Bombs, was there, gave a talk. And let's see. So this seems to be separating gods, achs, and the dead. So the gods, I mean, I think the achs were potentially divine, but they were separate from the sky gods. But who knows, maybe they were not considered gods per se, but something between gods and man. But the achs are basically all these peninsulas and stuff like Greece. Or at least they are certainly called achs in these in the texts. And it's interesting, they talk about the counter heaven. So there's the heaven above, like above Afro-Eurasia, and then there's the underworld, which is America, and then the counter heaven, which is above America, or from their perspective, below America. And I think particularly below South America. Might be especially associated with the southern skies. I don't know. All right, and anything else? Day after day. Great God. It's just interesting. They're so specific about the Q